It's Tuesday, May 21. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has applauded the Shipping Association of Jamaica for offering sterling service, which has contributed to the growth and development of Jamaica within its last 80 years of existence.
The Shipping Association has come a long way since its formation and has set a high benchmark for excellence in its efforts to promote and protect the interests of the Jamaican shipping industry as well as those of the wider region. To the Shipping Association, we express deep appreciation for 8 decades of sterling service, and we wish you continued longevity and success in the next 80 years to come.
The Prime Minister was speaking at the 18th Caribbean Shipping Executives Conference at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston on Monday.
The Caribbean Shipping Association continues to fulfill its mandate of fostering the exchange of information and ideas that will aid its membership to maximize efficiency and output while devising solutions to surmount the challenges facing the regional shipping industry.
He also congratulated the Caribbean Shipping Association on nearly 50 years of promoting and facilitating the growth of the maritime sector in the Caribbean and Latin American regions, and being the voice of the regional shipping industry. Minister of State in the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, Floyd Green, says Cannabis Licensing Authority is taking steps to respond more efficiently to the growing demand within the industry. He said that the entity has embarked on a review of its application process, which should be completed over the next 6 weeks. Meanwhile, Green said that the government is in the process of developing the regulatory framework to enable the country to capitalize on the US $100 billion global medical marijuana industry. He said that internationally, there is a steady movement towards scientific exploration, testing, and acceptance of the many benefits of cannabis, and Jamaica sees those areas as highly beneficial and of top priority. He noted, however, that proper regulations must be in place to enable access to export markets. The Road Safety Unit is reporting a 21% increase in road fatalities and a 28% increase in fatal crashes in Jamaica since the start of the year when compared to the corresponding period last year. Statistics released from the RSU yesterday indicated that 167 persons have been killed in 152 fatal crashes. Vulnerable road users, pedestrians, pedal cyclists, motorcyclists and pillion account for 63% of the road users killed since January, while motorcyclists account for 32%, pedestrians account for 22%, passengers 21%, private motor vehicle drivers 16%, and private motor vehicle passengers 14%. The RSU is appealing to all road users to wear their seat belts, helmets, and other protective devices to save lives, as well as pay attention to the road signs and markings. Alleged road cops Corporals Kirk Fraser and Ramon Scott were remanded in custody when they appeared in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston yesterday. The policemen are charged with 3 counts of illegal possession of firearm and ammunition, and 1 count each of murder, manslaughter, and shooting with intent. Allegations are that shortly after midnight on April 28, Fraser, Scott, and a 3rd policeman, later identified as Corporal Rowan Williams, fatally shot St. Catherine resident Sheldon Jr. Biggs Daly during a party at Chedwin Park, which is located on the outskirts of Spanish Town. They then fled the scene in a Nissan wagon motorcar. According to reports, an off-duty policeman who witnessed the incident challenged the 3 men who shot Daly, unaware they were his colleagues. They were chased by the off-duty cop through the streets of the old capital. When the dust cleared, Williams and Kevron Burrell, a visitor to the island who was a passenger in a car, were pronounced dead. Canada's Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship, Ahmed Hussein, is in Jamaica for a 3-day working visit to, among other things, shore up cooperation between his country and tertiary education institutions here. His first stop was at the University of the West Indies yesterday, where he led a guided discussion on the role of education in Canada's immigration policy and expressed impatience with the achieving more in the way of partnership. In an obvious reference to the policies of its neighbor in the south, Hussein himself and immigrants stressed that Canada is seeking to build bridges, not walls, with its approach to immigration. He is expected to travel to Trinidad on a similar mission when he leaves Jamaica. One male Titchfield High student is dead, and 23 others from that school, as well as Port Antonio High, are now in hospital after the minibus in which they were traveling plunged 70 meters into a ravine and landed on its 4 wheels. The driver and conductor of the ill-fated bus have also been hospitalized. The crash occurred minutes after 3 p.m. yesterday. The Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, says effective Monday additional information on foreign exchange market transactions will be posted on its website. BOJ, in a statement sent to the media, said the move serves to foster greater transparency in the operation of the foreign exchange market and improve access by the public to market information. The central bank stated, quote, "The additional information being provided will be the volume and price of US dollar transaction, buy and sell, of US $100,000 or more as reported by authorized foreign exchange dealers and cambios, and will be available on the bank's website at the end of each day's trading." End quote. It said the transactions will not represent all of the tradings on that day, but only the individual trades of US $100,000 or more. The US dollar on Monday, May 20, ended trading at Jamaican $135.49, down by 28 cents. That's according to the Bank of Jamaica's daily foreign exchange trading summary. The summary also noted the Canadian dollar ended trading at Jamaican $98.44, down by $2.72, while the British pound sterling ended trading at Jamaican $171.66, down from $172.50. In regional news, Barbados has agreed to sell the majority of its shares in regional carrier LAPATHON to Antigua and Barbuda. Prime Minister Gaston Brown confirmed that he received correspondence from his Barbadian counterpart, Mia Mottley, about the agreement. He was speaking on a radio program on Sunday. We have more in this report.
And that is certainly desirable because you want to make sure that we pursue that model of shared benefits and shared burden. So the idea is not to divest Barbados all of its shares, because the intent is not to exclude any country from participating in LAPATHON. In fact, as far as practicable, we would want to broaden the shareholding of LAPATHON to include as many Caribbean countries as possible.
Prime Minister Brown said negotiations between both nations will begin soon.
We are certainly ready. Our team has been established, and I've written back to her to confirm that our team has been established, and would have given her the names of the 3 individuals who will serve on our negotiating team. It was about doing the practical thing to ensure the survivability of LAPATHON to protect the Antiguan economy. The reality is we have about 400 workers here, LAPATHON employees, and for us to have a situation in which the airline is collapsed and with the potential of moving the headquarters to another country, I mean, that would be catastrophic. So for those who may have taken my account to the people of Antigua and Barbuda as a personal attack, as a form of one-upmanship or shouting across the Caribbean or bigging up my chest, there was no such thing. It was just a practical solution to an emerging problem.
In Dominica, the 2 major political parties are in campaign mode, even though no election date has been announced. The ruling Dominica Labour Party, the DLP, and the main opposition, United Workers' Party, held 2 rallies on Sunday. Prime Minister and DLP leader Roosevelt Skerrit launched its candidates and disparaged his rivals.
A remarkable job of improving conditions for many. But do not be fooled. We are still in build back mode. We are still in the intensive care unit. We need an A-team to pull us out of the mess wrought by successive natural disasters. It is because Labour has done so much in the last 20 months that some people underestimate what it will take to finish the course. We have a long, hard road ahead of us as a nation, and we have to get this election outcome right.
In the meantime, UNP leader Lennox Linton outlined a raft of reforms that his party would enact should they form the next government.
The appropriate constitutional amendments and enact legislation to limit the time in office for any prime minister to 2 5-year terms, and we will establish a fixed date for general elections every 5 years. We will bring an immediate end to the practice of using the resources of Dominica to benefit outside interests with multi-million-dollar contracts for works Dominicans are ready, willing, and able to do. We will upgrade the salaries of all public officers to make them competitive with the salaries paid to public officers in other OECS countries. We will do that immediately.
In sports, we bowl off with cricket as the decision by Phil Simmons to step down as head coach of Afghanistan after the ICC World Cup has opened up the possibility of a return to the West Indies team. Simmons recently announced that he would be leaving the post after achieving his goal of helping Afghanistan qualify for the tournament, which will be held in England and Wales from May 30 till July 14. His contract, although due to expire at the end of the World Cup, would most likely have been extended. Coincidentally, after also being in charge of the West Indies for 18 months, Simmons was controversially fired by the Dave Cameron-led West Indies Cricket Board back in 2016. However, while Simmons challenged the decision in court, one of the first orders of business for new Cricket West Indies president Ricky Skerrit was to apologize to the former West Indies all-rounder and reach an amicable resolution. And on to football. Last weekend, the REGGAE Girls hosted a LAPATHON event which was aimed at raising funds for the team on its journey to France for the FIFA Women's World Cup next month. The event was held at Jamaica College on Saturday and attracted members of the government and civic leaders. Sports Minister Olivia Grange was on hand and spoke of the importance of support for the girls.
Support for our REGGAE girls can't be too much. There is support, but I want to see more support. As the minister responsible for sports and for gender, as I promote women in sports, I am committed to supporting the girls. The government is committed to supporting the girls. If you notice, my colleague minister, the Honorable Fable Williams, is here this morning with us, and she represents the entire cabinet. And so the government is fully behind the girls. But we want the entire country to surround them with love and to give them the support. They are very courageous, they're brave, they're focused, they're loyal, they're committed. And it is important that they know that we are 100% behind them.
Energy Minister Favour Williams was also on the track and was seen with Jamaica Football Federation President Michael Ricketts.
May I use this opportunity to implore corporate Jamaica to come on board. We are certainly behind as it relates to meeting our financial obligations going to France. And however, I must commend Minister Grange, I must commend those sponsors who've been on board, those who were with us before our qualification, and those who have come on board since our qualification. But we still need far more support.
Our government is committed to sports, committed to the game of football, and we're here to show our support to the girls, the Reggae girls who are doing, some light training behind us. My own involvement is at the community level in terms of football clubs, because that's where you get the children interested in it and be with them all the way up so that they can make a Reggae Girls team. Sports has been a huge sector for us here in Jamaica, and whatever support we can give, we should.
The Reggae Girls made a brief stop to say thank you to patrons and engage in some training. They would go on to job Panama 3-1 on Sunday. And that's the news on PBCJ. Thanks so much for watching.